tsunami, no fear. Cause in the streets, martial law increase. Policy enforcers breach peace and call police. Don't try me, I got nationality ID and all rights reserved if you try to buy me. Giving me a blank check or a cramped neck, or shot up like El Haj, not Malcolm X. It's dangerous, not knowing your rights. If you don't know them, you have none, they will strike. Corporate venomous type, scrape skies with buildings. The house education boards beat lies to children. Now they're killing themselves, filling themselves with bad music. Plus they abuse it. Puppet master radio execs choose it. Trigger is the 6 hi-hat sounding like a nuisance to the trained ear. No fear without rain gear, clap without original guns. Use the sun when I see police, yo. I used to run, now I ask for warrant cards and bonds to hold guns. Challenge authority, judge gets recused. Judge refused, status on record and your crew. Not BCC, but operations locked down. Cause heads ain't ready and I'm not from Bucktown, but still stepping in hotter this year. Iron Sheik, Moorish MC, shed no tears. We told you all about conquistador vamps with plans to King Alfred clamp you into camps. Facing vaporization, not burning in ovens. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, you need to summon. Activate cause Aquarian aid tsunami coming. Most want billboard awards for cooning and drugging. Influencing youths to tattoo their face, but when you can't get a job, you blame the other race. Claiming that they faceless and racist. Playing victim, doctors say. Strapped to the mental bed with probes in your head. They didn't take serious what the Moors have said. Nah, who's stepping in hotter this year? Sun Falcon, elf fly like soaring in the air, oh yeah. Hail up the thugs on the corner who know their Moors and give the God honors for teaching them the law. Cause streets hot like a sauna. Read Ministry of Death when surrounded by mourners. Youth begging me to come back to their schools cause they learn more in 10 minutes than years in school. Cool, just let me know the time and the date so I can help y'all escape all these lies of crime and hate and put an end to the black on black crime. You're brown. Stop effing around with your pants on the ground. Your hat's too big, your shirt's too tight. For revolutionaries, those screw face just right. Kicks too white, boots too clean and crisp. You never hit when you're shooting at the trips. Since you're ahead, you might as well use your head. Put down the guns or you would end up dead. Hotter this year. Hotter this year. Alright, Chef, what up? Iron Sheik. Live from your celly, even off to know your location. SWAT team Rex 84, secure the homeland. King Alfred plan, they not playing, man. When I say they, I mean corporatopoly. They always taxing property and lying to the people. Crying and hungry, still lie to the people. Most wanna believe and don't know, won't admit they wrong and equal. Always playing victim, slave color sheeple. Tag your it, the collateral to pay the corporate debt with. Get with it or be blown away when the storm comes or when the swarm comes. Lotus and toads, breeding in millions. Selling sheeple toads with toast and cloning livers. Rewriting rewritten scriptures, big business and still is. I suggest put down the gun, you won't win against nuclear weapons. Guns are worthless. Real power and security is Moorish nationality to form unity. Bun skinny jeans, bun Tims. Let's act and save the children. We got cameras on our phones, but they got universal soldier clones. Real power and security is Moorish nationality to form unity. Live from the sheik's desk, I mean no disrespect. To be black ain't shit, get no respect. To be nigga no diff, then being a negro, a wimp. Chimpanzee troglodyte chimp. Some telling the truth, most a lot on the album still. Drake ain't a thug, he's from Forest Hill. The grassy hot actor, R&B rapper. Sprite got him vibrating on a low chakra. Pedophiles got little sis in love, and videos kissing him on cheeks. I'm seeing him getting rubs, seeking some TLC. Drake is a scrub, and shotgun of Lil Wayne's whip, talking shit. You might fool the world, but I know you have Ashkenaz. Far from hardcore, just ask his dad. I don't have beef, I'd rather have an idle dish. Sprite drinking, kosher Kentucky finger licking, just try it. Rappers are worthless, real power is MCs. Real strength is in the brown, not the green Sensi. Bun Cardi, Bun Drake, and all Toronto thug rappers that's fake. R.I.P. Blue, R.I.P. Gummer, Bun Chocolate and rendered Hummers. Real power is MCs, real strength is in the brown, not the green Sensi. Light up the Fonto, spark up the cushion pen, Sensi hash combo. Catch a buzz before I hit the block, not buckshot. Used to there are niggas with attitudes, your bun cocks. Pants off the ass, Lil Wayne mini-me's. Coming on the bus smelling like weed chimneys. Gun, screwdriver, a knife and a shank. In his knapsack to himself singing crack raps. Looking like a walking video, too many young cats copy sloppy in love with silly hoes. With implants from ass to lips, shaking their hips. Blue bandana hanging doesn't make you a crip. Red bandana hanging doesn't make you a blood. Only earrings we used to wear with loops and studs. Diamonds are a man's best friends, things change. Canaanland needs wear beads, not the gold chains. The violence don't stop, the beef don't cease. 20 years on the corner, no paper increase. SIU means nothing, pigs still shooting young men. Profile people not suing. The violence don't stop, beef don't cease. 20 years on the corner, no paper increase. SIU means nothing, pigs still shooting young men. Profile people not suing. Murder, 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 young killings and killers. Witnesses seal lips, nobody's a squealer. Everybody's a health freak, nobody's a healer. No doctor graduates, but everybody's a dealer. Pushing E-pills and bootleg J's. If you don't give them up, you get sprayed. Damn, it's a crazy world, so I'm trading my niece. 18 hands of low hand and pressure point technique. Phones are handguns on hips like holsters, shooting from the mouth. East, west, north, and south, and central. Rhyme and stimulate your mental for havoc and pee. For life with Black Moon since 93. Only a few get it, so only a few would rep it. Harder than the spots on the leopard. Harder for the sheep like the shepherd. Rep it, swinging crystals and 7 sigil pendants. The violence don't stop, the beef don't cease. 20 years on the corner, no paper increase. SIU means nothing, pigs still shooting young men. Profile people not suing. The violence don't stop, beef don't cease. 20 years on the corner, no paper increase. SIU means nothing, pigs still shooting young men. Profile people not suing.
Common sense was made before book sense. Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense Quick.
Legendary, bury me in the North Gate Cemetery, February the 4th day. Son of Mary, day ahead of my born day. Independence and law makes it a little of a lost case. With case laws, we break them down like Jericho. Keeping all my lions tamed, I'm Chris Jericho. I'll keep a mask on deck, I'm Rey Mysterio. Fake pandemics announced over the radio. Annoyed with the game, the joys and the pains. I rock bass, mix it with rock the hard way. I was in a lost state. Prophets told me upright, brought me to a lost gate. Cooking like I'm Sorbet, rapping like I'm Denzel. Malcolm X, Deja Vu, Roman J. Israel. And over Garland, in plain sight, but people still can't see it. So the snakes still showing up, stakes still high, so the race still going up. Warriors of the North Gate, we not slowing up. Born in the manger, sworn to be savior. Walk through the valley of the shadows of the death dip in slavery. Looking for light, the book of Genesis. Astral plane interests, invoke the nemesis. Abstract images of past lives kicking in. Danger, running for your life, finish him.
Morris or Moor, key man or oracle, using Trinity powers, decipher allegorical, lost in metaphorical, holy books of metaphysic, facts like a dirty Moor or a Drew Ali critic, calling him Thomas or Walter and get your face caved, or cut like a close shave, drowned in my brainwaves, squashed by heat waves, activating Kundalini, Abyssinia invaded by Mussolini, Selassie I in exile, reptile.
Common sense was made before book sense. Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense Quick.
Legendary, bury me in the North Gate Cemetery, February the 4th day. Son of Mary, day ahead of my born day. Independence and law makes civil little a lost case. With case laws, we break them down like Jericho. Keeping all my lions tamed, I'm Chris Jericho. Or keep a mask on deck, I'm Rey Mysterio. Fake pandemics announced over the radio. Annoyed with the game, the joys and the pains. I'm rock bass, mixing with rock the hard way. I was in a lost state. Prophets stood me up right, brought me to a lost gate. Cooking like I'm Salt Bay, rapping like I'm Denzel. Malcolm X, Deja Vu, Roman J. Israel. Had no but I lay in plain sight, but people still can't see it. So the snakes still showing up, stakes still high, so the race still going up. Warriors of the North Gate, we not slowing up. Born in the manger, sworn to be savior. Walk through the valley of the shadows of the death dip in slavery. Looking for light, the book of Genesis. Astral plane interests, invoke the nemesis. Abstract images of past lives kicking in. Danger, running for your life, finish him.
Morris or Moor, key man or oracle, using Trinity powers, decipher allegorical, lost in metaphorical, holy books of metaphysic, facts like a dirty Moor or a Drew Ali critic, calling him Thomas or Walter and get your face caved, or cut like a close shave, drowned in my brainwaves, squashed by heat waves, activating Kundalini, Abyssinia invaded by Mussolini, Selassie I in exile, reptile in Genesis, niggas appearing real, all I see is false evidence. They are feminists, torn by elephants, don't like what prejudice but want Moorish benefits. When you feel the full magnetic resonance, apis horns of the sacred book called Maleficent, great cosmic mothers, return to blessedness, no pestilence, ace all the testaments, tap into remembrance, never to forget again, use energy right, not put spell effects on men, wandering the earth plane but no they live shades, keeps you a mental slave as the horizon fades. It's been decades since Christian crusades, not enough rebellions, too many vigil bouquets, holding on to the fence, burning on doomsday, war ruled by Mars, it might be on a Tuesday.
Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense Quick. What we do here is we add some common sense thinking to everyday situations or comments that may arise. Want to give it a try?
Islam Moors, happy holy day to all the Moors worldwide. R.I.P. and happy soul return to the PNC. It's not here anymore, but still here. Not here, but still here. Peace to all the Moors. If you got any questions, put it in the chat in all caps. Just wanted to, again, go over the usual, because it seems like sorcerers did a good job. The colonists did a great job on our people. They have them tripping. Before we do that, we just want to make sure you're clear about something before we watch this video. I want to be clear about something. One will take note that all the people mentioned in government plans, blacks, Indians, Latinos, Puerto Ricans, and poor whites, do not include a de jure national name or title. All these words are descriptive chattel brands coined by Europeans as substitute pedigree parentage names, and were forced as appellations on the indigenous people of the Americas and their own discards. All people bearing these labels are referred to as it. One common thread is evident. No nationality equals no rights and no human value. One common thread is evident. One common thread is evident. No, zero, not having, absent of nationality equals no rights. And if you have no rights, then you're not valued as human being. You're valued as it. Simple as that. Now, we already know justice was served because the family took their 21 million, 12 million, 5 million, how much ever a life is worth nowadays. The family, not the person who got shot up or whatever, the family who's still living, they didn't say, nah, we don't want the money and all that, forget that stuff, whatever. They took the millions. So all these marching up and down the place people, to our rights and all that stuff still, obviously you're just mad you didn't get your million. Don't be mad that you didn't get your million. Go get shot up by somebody and they'll give you your millions. But you can't take stuff with you, so I would highly consider finding some ulterior way of getting yourself some millions. Because you're not even guaranteed to get it. Because the only reason they got it because they had a civil rights lawyer. And the civil rights lawyer made sure they got their civil rights millions. And then if civil rights have been unconstitutional since the 1800s, then you didn't get anything. Still no peace, no justice. And you didn't even get any money. Because money is gold and silver. They didn't give you gold and silver. They gave those people some fiat. That's just what it is. A lot of people don't learn. They want to play emotional games. That's all they want to do, play emotional games. All they want to do is push false narratives and then try to be the scholar of somebody and all this. Well, then I want to tell these people about their birthrights. Why isn't that the move? How come the move? Oh yeah, you might as well go. Just go listen to the Lord. The Lord tell them. If they want to play games. Islam to Mantis Views 29 for putting this one on me this morning. And don't forget rvbaypublications.com, the online university for Moors.
The system basically worked the way it was designed to work. We were never thought to be included in this system. So when they talked about we the people, 1776, the Constitution, were we included in we the people? Were we included in injustice? And Dred Scott ruling 1857, where Supreme Court Justice Taney said that African Americans, blacks, Negroes, anyone who's branded with those labels could never be citizens of the United States of America.
He said that stuff on national TV? And nobody realized what's going on? Negroes, blacks, and all them people can't be citizens. What are you voting for? is really what he's saying, because, you know, it's voting time right now and all that stuff. What are you voting for? If you're not a citizen, because since Dred Scott case, they tell these people that they're not citizens. But all the Negro, black, colored, whoever leaders, oh, Judge Taney, he's a racist and all that. You know, the racism is so deep and they don't like black people and all that. Maybe. But the reality is that it's, like we read earlier, people classified as they can't be citizens. No nationality means no rights, no human value, i.e. no citizenship. We don't want to hear that. We want to play like you guys know what you're talking about. All right.
What's good? My name is Shady Croft. I'm about to explain to you exactly why Breonna Taylor did not receive justice. The Fourth Amendment of the United States Constitution reads, and I quote, "The right of the people to be secure in their persons,
right, what people? You're not citizens. Negro, black, colored are not citizens of any nation. Not an African nation, not an Asian nation. There's no connection to citizenship when it comes to people classifying themselves as colors and continents and stuff that aren't human. Period. That's just what it is. Nothing to be mad, go marching up and down for. That's just what it is. Correct your status. Been told people. Drew Ali came and told these people long time ago, you're not Negro, black, colored, or Ethiopian. Those names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779. Declare your nationality. You're Moors. No, you don't want to be Moors. You want to keep being black, orange, pink, yellow people. And when you get violated, you're going to march up and down the place instead of sue somebody. But you're not going to sue somebody because you're going to hire a lawyer who's an officer of the court who's going to make sure they put you not in the human rights whatever, in the civil rights whatever. Going right back to Dred Scott and Emmett Till and all that stuff. Somebody just sent me a thing talking about on September 25th, the people who murdered Emmett Till got acquitted. And then the people who murdered Breonna Taylor got acquitted. They're racist. No, they're not. Emmett Till is a European name. Taylor is a European name. If you are dark skinned and you have a European name, that means you're a slave. If you're a slave, you're under the Christian black codes. If you're under the Christian black codes, that means you're classified as it. And you don't have rights. And law doesn't protect you and none of that. That's just what it is. You can accept that, or you could play the alcoholic guy. He doesn't want to admit he's alcoholic and all that stuff. He's in denial. And the girl with the busted lip and no, he loves me and all that stuff. I don't know why he's doing this to me, but he loves me. No, he doesn't love you. He just beat your ass. What the hell you mean he loves you? You a dumbass? No, but he loves me because he didn't really mean to do it. I slipped and fell on his fist and then that's all. Really? You really? You slipped and fell into a door and got a black eye? For real? You're going to defend this clown? Oh, you're in denial. Just like our people are in denial. They want to deal with reality. All they want to do is deal with fictions. But hey, if they're a fiction, then why wouldn't they only deal with fictitious stuff? They ain't dealing with nothing real if they're not real. And everybody who's in power knows this. And all they got to do is just get a little stick, put a little string on there, a carrot, put that in front of the nigger, and then nigger's just going to follow the carrot all over the place. You can't even bring up Constitution if your name is Negro, black, colored. Constitution does not apply to people who aren't European colonists. United States of America Constitution for the Republic is for Europeans. The reason why they started pushing the Republic, because that came from Rome. That's their stuff. It ain't nothing to do with us. We're the Aboriginal Indigenous people. We got our own government. We have our own way of life. No, we don't want that. We want their way of life. And then when we go into their way of life and stuff doesn't work, they're racist. No, you're in the wrong stuff. Why are you even over there? But our people love to learn the hard way. That's why Juali told these Moors, oh, you're gonna learn, you're gonna learn at the point of a sword. You don't worry. You don't worry. In this day, it ain't swords, it's barrel of a gun in your face. Still not learning? You're still not learning. You're really not gonna learn still? You're gonna play like Moors, we don't know what we're talking about, and you guys know what you're talking about when all we see is you people getting shot up or whatever, and we're supposed to stop what we're doing as Moors and go on the side of some Negroes, go into Negro marches to grab the mic and say something to a bunch of Negroes to do for what? What's that doing? And go hold some signs at some Negro rally? To do what? They're not doing anything with the information you give them. They're placating. They don't care about freedom and all that stuff. They want their European landlord to tell them, yeah, this is how you do the whatever. They don't want to hear what Moors are saying. We know they don't want to hear what we're saying because we take this to the hedges and the highways. When we were standing on Young and Dundas with newspapers, giving them out for free, it was only people who were not from here that were taking the newspapers, and Europeans. It was only the people who were not from here and Europeans who were stopping to ask questions. Hey, why you guys Shriners? Why are you wearing those stuff on the head or whatever like that? Oh, it was only people from Hindustan and people from Persia and people from all these places not from here that want to run up and take pictures. And then we want to give Negro stuff and then, oh, no, I don't want that. Cross the street, go over there to walk the other direction, see us approaching them, turn and go somewhere else. So we know our people have no honor and they have no respect for their self, which is why they suffer the most. Because we're not in that BS. We are people and all that stuff. Those people aren't my people. My people are Moors. My people got nationality. My people have common sense. My people know who their ancient foremothers and forefathers were. And they're not playing Negro games. They're not playing black, colored, it doesn't matter what we call ourselves games. My people are Aboriginal Indigenous people. They have their own culture. They don't need these Europeans for stuff. That's just where it's at. And that's not anything personal or whatever. But we know what guilty by association means. And if Moors associate with Negroes, don't get mad when you get nigger treatment. Don't get mad. Don't start trying to exercise rights or whatever like that. Because, no, why are you with Negroes? Why are you even with Negroes? For what? You didn't learn yet? You didn't learn yet? You see Chinese around anybody else but Chinese people? You see Chinese in KFC? Find me a Chinese person that went to a KFC. Find me a Hindustani person that went to Burger King. Find me somebody from some other nation that's going to some food place other than the place of their culture. You won't. Only Negroes do that. Only Europeans do that. We got serious issues. And the only way that it's going to be fixed is when our people, the Moors, stop sitting on their ass with this information and start taking this to the hedges and the highways like Juali told us to do with this. I don't want to hear any stuff about you're not in a temple and where I don't have a grand sheik and whether. No, you know you're not Negro black colored? Yeah, all right. So go tell some people that they're not Negro black colored. Don't tell me any BS about, you need something. Go on RV Bay, print off stuff and give it out to people. They're not getting this info from the nigger leaders. And this stuff Isaiah Thomas is talking about, that stuff, that ain't no deep stuff or whatever like that. That's basic shit. Anybody could go research. Basic. Dred Scott case, that's basic. Because everybody knows about Dred Scott. The problem is, everybody knows about Dred Scott from the perspective of some nigger leader telling them about Taney's a racist judge and all that. That has nothing to do with race. His name's Scott. Scott is a European name. How are you free? And then you have a European name, and then you're saying that you're free. How are you free? You got a European name. You got a European name, then obviously you have a master. It's real simple. But our people don't like simple. They like advanced. And then when you give them advanced, oh no, they don't want it because I'm not ready for this and all that. So then, that's why Noble Drew Ali said, well, why are you gonna grab the plow if you're not gonna do the whole field? Like, what do you mean you grab the plow, do 2 steps, and then talk about, well, I got blisters on my hands from the plow, so I don't want to do this anymore. Nigga, you grab the plow. Nobody tell you go grab it. You said you wanted to be conscious. You said you want to know thyself and chematologists and all that stuff. All right, well, that's not what know thyself is about. Know thyself is about nationality, birthrights, and honoring your foremothers and forefathers. Or you think because you put on some makeup or something like that, you're honoring your foremothers and forefathers? You put on some Egyptian hijab and you think that you got honors? You don't got honors. Ain't no honors in material items. Stop it. The only way that our people are going to be free is when they stop playing the BS, acknowledge Noble Drew Ali is the prophet of the Americas, 1, and 2, declare their nationality. Because you also have Moors who's going to tell you, "Thing about Noble Drew Ali, we don't need him," and all that stuff. Those people are Negroes. You're not going to honor the prophet who brought you all this info of know thyself to the Americas? I self-law and master. First person to bring that to the Americas is Noble Drew Ali. And then you're going to tell me nation of gods and earths and all that stuff, which is I self-law and master, and you don't honor the prophet? Please. Not taking none of you people serious. Not taking any of you people serious. Haile Selassie wearing a golden fez, and then you're talking BS about Moors when your God guy has a golden fez, and you don't realize what's going on? Nationality is the order of the day all across the board. Marcus Garvey dressed up like Admiral. Why is he dressed like an Admiral for? Admiral is an Amir. An Amir is a Moor. What do you mean? What do you mean Garveyites aren't Moors? Malachi York put out Circle 7 of the Moor Science Temple, hardcover, with your flag on it and all that stuff. Tell me about some Tamaray and all this. Been told, but they don't want it. It's okay. But trust me, Moors got their birthright. They ain't worried about what's going to happen to us and all that stuff. We got our birthright. And somebody steps up, try to do whatever, we know how to stand up on our square and defend our position that we're claiming. We're not going to be marching up and down the street if these people try to wound or murder a Moor. Guarantee. And it's not going to be what you see these Negroes doing. I'll tell you that. But I also tell you that they wouldn't even try none of that on a Moor. A conscious Moor who knows their self, people aren't playing murder anybody in the street. They might kidnap them. They might play some type of authority game, but they're going to make that Moor sign out on their own recognizance, let them out the back of the jail or whatever like that, and then you're not even going to know what happened. Because majority of times, stuff happens to Moors, and, they keep that stuff to themselves, because that's their business. It has nothing to do with anything else. There's something happened to a Negro. Oh, they want to tell everybody. They don't tell the world about what happened to them in their dead status, as if that has some type of weight or some type of credibility. No, it doesn't. You're black. What do you mean stuff applies? What do you mean somebody's respecting something? Go check all the different nations of the world. Black Lives Matter came out. You know, Chinese come out talk about yellow people for Black Lives Matter. They weren't talking like that. Chinese for Black Lives Matter. These people didn't realize what's going on. Indians, Pakistanis, every country in South America for Black Lives Matter. None of them call themselves a color. And then our people just sitting there like they don't know what's going on. Why don't they know? Again, one, because they don't even know who Noble Drew Ali is, who's the prophet of the Americas, came to save the nations from the wrath of Allah. That all these people who were in denial of him, they got their wrath of Allah, and they turned around quick fast. They got their shit together quick fast. Especially over here. They ain't got any issues getting murdered in the street like our people. They don't have those issues. So we have to do, as Moors, since we're the ones that have this knowledge and all that stuff, you need to step up, stop playing like because you don't have a title and all that stuff, you can't do some shit. Stop the BS. If you know you're not Negro black colored, you know more than those people who think they're Negro black colored, and you probably better go tell them people something. I don't care if they don't listen to you or whatever like that. You better tell them. It doesn't matter whether they listen or not. Point is, they can't say, well, the Moors didn't do anything when whatever. And we're not talking about going to some rally and go with them to try to convince them at the rally where they're riding off emotions to listen to something. No, we're talking about pull them to the side, at the house, chilling and all that stuff, smoking the blunt and all that, and build with them on some info. Right? Why did Marcus Garvey want us to return to Africa since he knew the lessons taught by Noble Drew Ali? Marcus Garvey said, Africa for the Africans, those at home and those abroad. Now, people who don't study think Africa is only over there. If Africa's only over there, why did they find pieces of Africa under America? That's the first thing. The second thing, the Black Star Line, if you went and looked at those ships, ain't nobody going on those ships to go back to no Africa. Ain't nobody going on that ship to go back to Africa. Who's going on that to go back to Africa? Then you take 5 people back to Africa at a time on that ship. And Marcus Garvey also said, we can't take everybody back to Africa because you'll be useless over there like you are over here. What's he telling you? What's he really saying? I don't know if he knew we were in Africa. I know that over here is also Africa. So if I hear somebody say, back to Africa. What do you mean back to Africa? We're in Africa. That's where my mindset is. Like, I don't know what you're talking about over there, because according to my research, what they call Africa over there is really South Asia. That's why the Chinaman could go to Africa and do all the stuff that he's doing there, because that's South Asia and he has a claim there. But the Negro leaders aren't going to put it to you like that. The Negro leaders are going to play their little back to Africa games to try to get you to tie yourself to over there when you're really from over here, because they already know that ain't no Europeans brought anybody over here on any ships or whatever like that. No one. Anybody who came over here on a ship, they were either crew members or it was their ship. Period. Because there's no way that some people who just got out of slavery, some people who were under slavery to us, just look up white slavery. They want to play little color games. Just look up white slavery in the Barbary States. So much information is going to come about these Europeans being slaves. The incompetent Negroes need to question themselves. Hold on a second. So how am I a slave? If this guy was a slave in the... Slavery started in when? When did slavery start? 1600s, they say, right? 1619 or something like that. They brought the first blacks over here and all that stuff. Okay, well, how is it that they're enslaving black people, Africans, whatever, bringing them over here on a boat, when in the 1600s, it's a documented fact that Europeans couldn't even put a boat in the water without them getting pirated by Moors. And then that happened for at least 250 years. So that's 1600, 1700s, 1800s. So mid-1800s is when the Europeans finally got a little break that they could put a boat in the water. I thought the black leaders told you 400 years of slavery and all this. So somebody's been playing you. And it ain't no European. Because the European knows the truth. But they keep the truth in their little chambers called Freemasonry and lodges and witchcraft and whatever else that they want to do. New Age and Smithsonian and all this stuff. They keep all their stuff there. And then they send out their little Negro leaders who are puppets of the Europeans or whatever to tell you all this BS about Africa and Garvey said this and whoever said that. You ever go read Philosophies and Opinions of Marcus Garvey? You ever read that yourself to see what he said? Well, I'm going to tell you what he said. Page 268, he said, the Negro is not going to be happy until he's restored to his true nationality. You think he doesn't know what nationality is if he's telling Garveyites that? If he's telling Garveyites, hey Garveyites, I'm writing you from prison right now to let you know A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and you're not going to be happy until you get a nationality. And then they took everything from A to Y, and then they didn't even pay attention to him telling them to go get their nationality. Why? Because when he was in prison in Atlanta, Georgia, he got visited by Noble Drew Ali, and Noble Drew Ali put him on game as to what's going on. And he wrote from prison to all the Garveyites to let them know what's going on. You think they followed that? No, they didn't do that. All those Garveyite leader guys started playing games like Garvey was a fraud. Oh, he did mail fraud, and how's that our leader and all that stuff? He's not our president and all that. And then after they deport him, now they want to give him honors. How come they weren't giving him honors? So your own sold you out, been selling you out, and they continue to sell you out because we don't want to study what Noble Drew Ali presented to us. Because every time we hear Moors, we start thinking about Islam and Allah and all that stuff like that has something to do with what Noble Drew Ali was teaching. Has absolutely nothing to do with what Noble Drew Ali was teaching. Nothing whatsoever. Because Allah is arm, leg, arm, head, and Islam is I, self, law, and master. And Nation of Gods told you guys that. So don't tell me the BS about when you hear Moors talk. Oh, that's a religious. And y'all come you guys not talking Nation of Gods and Earth is religious. You don't tell them they're religious. They tell you I, self, law, and master, arm, leg, arm, head, all day, every day. Oh, but you're not going there with them. Only with Moors you're going to go there? Yeah. Sorcerers did a good job. Sorcerers did a good job. If you got any questions, put them in the chat. Doesn't matter what the topic is. Oh yeah, and then return to Africa again. If the people would study Noble Drew Ali and Moor Science Temple, they would find out that he told all these people, it is most earnestly hoped that the Moorish movement will not be compared to any Back to Africa movement. Why? Because we're not African. We're descendants of Africans, but we're not African. Because Africa comes from Scipio Africanus, who's a Roman. He was a brother that was Roman, but he's a Roman. And he conquered North Africa, and that's Africa. The whole continent's not Africa. Just the northern part is Africa. Only the northern part. Nowhere else there is Africa. Nowhere else. Today, the whole continent's Africa. But that idea of over there being Africa is a fiction created by nigger leaders. Just like Kemet is a fiction and nobody knows what Kemet is. That's not real. Ain't nothing called Kemet over there. That's a fiction that was created over here. Dr. Ben told these people that over there's Al-Kebalan. So if over there's Al-Kebalan, how come none of these Negro leaders tell you Al-Kebalan ever? Ever. They keep telling you about Africa. Now if they came and said, you know, Al-Kebalan, I'm like, yeah, of course. They said, you know, South Asia, oh yeah, we know what you're talking about. Your own sold you out, played you, still playing you. It's that simple. But our people don't like simple. Our people want advanced. And then when you give them advanced on how I don't want that or whatever like that, that's racist. All right. Like we say, give honors to the Prophet Noble Jwali, because he brought us back our birthrights, and we got it. We got it now. They're not going to pull any game on Moors who are studious. You're not going to pull any BS on Moors who are studious, because we're not Negro, black, colored. And we're not falling for the BS that our people fell for. Like, we're not falling for it, because we're studious. We have libraries in our house. I don't have to go to a library. I have a library at the house. Got any questions, throw them in the chat.
Houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue, but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. But upon probable cause. So what is probable cause? Well, according to the interpretation of this amendment by Barry Friedman and Orrin Kerr, probable cause is a certain level of suspicion of criminal activity. So all the police need to bust in your house is to say, I feel like we should bust in their house, and then thereafter get a judge to approve that feeling. That's it. So let me be perfectly clear. The invasion of Breonna Taylor's house by police officers as that beautiful black woman laid asleep in her bed was legal. And let me use a more specific word. It was constitutional. Why? Well, it's because the founding fathers of this country chose to make it legal. And actually...
No, why? Because she's Negro, black, colored. That's why. Fred Hampton, Negro, black, colored. That's why they could bust in the door. Probable cause and all that. They know that she's Negro, black, colored. So they could do whatever they want. Law doesn't apply in this situation. They already know they're going to get off before they bust in the house. What you mean? They already knew they were going to get off. Why you think they're so big dick with their racism? Why you think they're like that? They're not like that because they know the law. They're like that because they know these people are stateless and we can do anything to them. And we're going to get off. There's nothing that they could do if they're in a dead status. Zero. All we have to do is, like Dave Chappelle said, sprinkle some crack on him. Just sprinkle some crack on him. Put a gun in his pocket and we're going to get off. We're justified in everything that we do. Why? Because the people have no status. And they've had no status for so long that it just became the norm that, hey, you want to, you're mad? You mad? You want to take out your frustration on somebody? Find some nigger's house, kick that door in, and drag him out by the hair. Matter of fact, just murder him in the house. And he, don't worry. Just sprinkle some crack on him, put a gun in his pocket. And you're going to get off. Find me some Chinese guy they're going to sprinkle some crack on. Oh, they can't do that because, you know, those guys only deal with opium or whatever. So you ain't even going to get them. You can't even get them like that. Find me some Arab or whatever like that they're going to, oh yeah, let's go to this guy's house and murder him. No, they're not going to do that because those guys only deal with hashish. They ain't sprinkling no hashish on nobody and murder them. It's not going to work. It's not the same. Right? Matter of fact, how did crack get in our community? Oh, some brother that the highwayman went to and said, hey, get this through the community and all that stuff. And like a dumbass, he said, yeah, sure, no problem. Give me all the crates of whatever. Oh, you got guns too? Oh yeah, give me all the guns. I know niggers that'll buy these or whatever. It's always your own. Too quick to look at the European. Stop the BS. Stop looking at Europeans. Right? That's like Buddy, rapper guy, married a thought, and then she makes a thought song, and then now he's divorcing because it was embarrassing because she's a thought. Niggas, she was a thought before you married her. The hell are you talking about? What are you talking about? And then people are taking WAP and then making all these different acronyms now, try to justify some thought behavior. How are you justifying some slackness? You justifying some slackness? Well, that's not what we meant by it. We meant, wealth, action, possibilities. No, you didn't. You mean wet ass pussy. That's what you meant. Stop the BS. What are you talking about? Playing around. Don't play with Moors, huh? You play your little Negro games with your little Negro friends and stuff like that. But don't come over here. We're not hearing it.
Not really. Did you know that when the Constitution was written, there wasn't even any organized police forces as we know them today? Policing in the 18th and early 19th centuries was a responsibility of the citizenry, which participated in night watches. Other than that, there was only a loose collection of sheriffs and constables. So this law of the land that...
Stop the BS. The first police were the slave patrol. And they had the 6-point star, just like the sheriffs got today. The slave patrol were the guys who people ran off the plantation, they chased them, throw the stuff around, the net around them and all that stuff. You think that stuff came from some Africa? It ain't some Africa. That's your history here. Gathering up the Negroes, put the stuff on them and lead them back to the plantation. That's the slavery. Ain't nothing somebody from Africa being brought over here and that's how they did. No. Remember, we were the first slave masters. Go check. In the Americas, the Asiatics were the first slave masters. That's why, again, we keep bringing up Django. That's what Django was about. Samuel L. Jackson was the master. And he was transferring the plantation to Leonardo DiCaprio. And then Leonardo DiCaprio got murdered, and then people are looking at, oh, look at him crying for his master. No, he's not. He's crying because the person who was going to inherit the stuff died. He's 90. Who's going to inherit the stuff now? Who's going to inherit now? That's why he was crying. Why was he signing the checks? Slaves don't sign checks. What slaves signing checks? But no, that was just a movie. You know what I mean? So we don't take that serious. That was just a movie. But it takes slavery serious though. Even though that was in the movie, which was supposed to be fake. But the slavery part, oh yeah, that's real. But the undertone, oh no, that's not real. Interesting how our people pick stuff. Pick what they want to fit in with their little BS narrative that they want to push. But never want to deal with the facts. Never, ever, 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 ever want to deal with the facts. Always want to deal with the fiction. And then get mad when they get called out for playing fiction. right? They're gonna have horsehair pictures up, and then we call them out on the horsehair pictures, and then now they switch the picture, and now they think, oh yeah, switch the pictures, it's not horsehair anymore. No, it's still horsehair. Stop the dumb stuff. The hell out of here. Don't play around with Moors. We're not Negro, black, colored, and all that. Like, we're not the ones. Go play those little nigger games with your little nigger friends.
Makes it legal for law enforcement to bust into your home while you are asleep was written before there was a law enforcement. In fact, the Constitution was written in 1787. I would like you to consider that the light bulb wasn't invented until 1879. So if you haven't done the math, I'll do it for you. The Constitution of the United States.
Stop the BS. The Moors had lights. They had street lights in Seville, Spain. They had street lights. There was lit streets when the Moors ruled Europe. You think people walking around bumbling around in the dark when the Moors ruled Europe? You got a candle walking down the street and all that stuff? No, you weren't. They had street lights. They had air conditioning. What are you talking about? They had irrigation and all that stuff. Well, how do you think these Europeans got the stuff that they got? Then they come over here with these dumb Negroes or whatever like that. And we got light in the 1800s. Everybody's applauding for some Europeans who they got their stuff from the Moors. And everybody knows that the Moors taught them everything that they know. So how are we talking about there was no lights or whatever? They didn't tell you about lights till the 1800s. Trust me, they had lights. You're not walking around with no damn candles. People had flashlights and all that stuff already. What you mean? They got cell phones on pyramids and laptops and stuff like that in hieroglyphics. What are you talking about? But that's what happens when you don't know ourselves. We limit ourselves. When we limit ourselves, then we limit our ancient foremothers and forefathers. Because our foremothers and forefathers were great. They did stuff back then. People still don't know today what they did. And they claim that they got all the schools of the knowledge of the whatever now. And they can't even replicate the things that our ancient foremothers and forefathers did. So who's the dumbass? Who's the smart people? The guy who could snap his finger and make fire? You're telling me that guy is dumber than the guy today who has a blowtorch? Really? The guy who his mouth's not moving but you're hearing him talk in your head, he's dumber than the guy that made the cell phone? For real? Seville. And we're not even limiting it just to quote unquote Spain only. We're talking about from 700s to 1400s when the Moors ruled Europe. Whatever you see us have today, fridges and all that stuff, they had all that. Paved streets. Why would there be paved streets so long ago? And then we see paved streets today and we some miraculous thing. It ain't no miraculous thing. All that stuff they got from our ancestors. Everything that you see these Europeans do, you name it. Everything they got from our ancient foremothers and forefathers. Everything. About to get back in. Don't go too far. 15 seconds. We'll be back to beat this up some more. So just get back on.